Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. It's Monday night, and this is That's Fancy. Tonight, we are all going to be guinea pigs. We are going to play with something that is brand new from the January to June mini catalog. So hopefully, people are going to start signing in and joining me. I'm just actually realized I didn't plug in my phone. We don't like when the battery runs out partway through the live video. Never a good situation. So I got it plugged in now. We got the power going. So I will just get the Facebook stuff going here. So if you are joining me, please do say hello. Let me know that you're here. If you are joining me for the very first time, welcome, and say hello. Let me know where you are and what your favorite crafting thing is. Hopefully it's card making, but that's okay if it's not. Maybe you're just, you've got all sorts of hobbies and card making is one of them. Maybe you're a scrapbooker. That's okay too. I haven't actually done a Facebook Live where we work on scrapbook pages. That might be something to think about for the future, but not for tonight. Anyway, hello, Terry, welcome. Welcome, and hello, good snowy night, I suspect. Lorna, hello, welcome. Yes, and Lorna's had another snowy day. We've had a snowy day. Terry, I think you've probably had another snowy day. I know you guys got a lot of snow. Yours actually started before us because the storm that we had today has been moving up from the south, and the people in Toronto who are south of me here, they often don't get a whole lot of snow, but I think they had more there than we had here, and we had quite a bit here. It was a very snowy day, a lot of powder on the hills, so skiing was, it was a good day on the hills. So there's always that. But okay, so tonight, tonight, we're all going to try something brand new. We're going to learn together because I'm going to be honest, I've not played with this very much. We are going to play with the Flowering Tulips bundle. So I am just going to switch the spotlight here so we can take a peek at this. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Remove the spotlight. There we go. Okay, so it is on page it starts on page 14, page 15, and you can see it a little bit bigger on page 16 in the catalog. So this is the stamp set, and I did use it recently. Let's see, maybe in my craft along. I think it was my craft along Friday night. I used just a couple of the stamps. I didn't use any of the dies or anything. So we just dabbled in it ever so slightly. But tonight we are going to play with the stamp set a little bit, but also with the dies, because not sure if you'll be able to see it on camera or not, but let me see if I can get this up here. These tulips are cut with the dies, and they're scored and folded, and they make 3D, slightly 3D, poofy. So sort of, they are 3D because they're not flat, but probably the best way to describe them would be to say that they are poofy. So we are going to make some of those. We're going to give it a go. We're going to see what we get. And as I said, I have only just played with these ever so slightly. I have not actually assembled any. Here's what I've done so far. Look, I've cut out bits and pieces. There, that's the sum total of what I've done. Doesn't look like much yet. Hi, Donna, welcome. Hopefully by the time we are finished, these will look like a little bit more than what they are here. So these are some of the dies. There are, how many, what's it say here? There are 17 dies. So some of them actually cut out these flower shapes and the tulip bud, and then some of the grass stuff and the leaves and stems. So the dies do cut those things. There is also this die that cuts out a whole bit of a flower garden of tulips. And I just ran one through about 10 minutes before before we started here. So there is what that looks like. So that's really pretty. That'll make a nice border on a card. So we might turn that into something tonight. We'll see. But we have cut that out. And then there is also this little waffle kind of thing that cuts holes in your paper. It doesn't actually cut out a shape. So it does cut holes in your paper. Not sure where it's best. What do I need? Something something pink. If I put, oh, here, maybe something green. If I put something green behind it, there you go. Now you can see what it has cut. So it's cut out all those little squares, but I cut the edges around here. So this would just add some fun texture and some little see-through bits, either see-through to the next layer down, or you know, clear see-through right into the inside of your card or something. It depends which layer you put it on. So so that's another one of the dies. And then you can see these are the ones that cut out the flower shapes and the leaf shapes. But the ones that cut out these are some almost funny looking dies. These guys. Okay, so you get 3 of these, this shape. These are all the same. And am I missing one? One. I think I am. I think I'm missing one. So I have this one. This one is in half. That's that one. I am missing one. I'm missing, nope, that's that one. It will show up. You know, I had them all out and they've been kind of floating around here. But then when I stand up, things get moved around. There it goes, just hit the floor. Okay, so there's the third one. So when you cut these out, you get a shape like this. Actually, I think I folded this one backwards. And they are scored. Did I fold it? I don't know. I'm not sure how you tell which is forward and back. I'm not sure it matters. Actually, this is probably the right way because now there's a little ever so slightly embossed, and I don't know. No, I don't. Ooh, almost see it. Anyway, it is ever so slightly embossed that it would just add a little tiny bit of texture. Where did you guys go? You just disappeared on me. Hopefully I'm still here. Like when technology just, you know, zips away on its own. There we go. I think you're back. Okay. This makes a whole tulip flower. This makes a tulip bud. And this makes a tulip flower. Okay. So you have your 3 base kind of pieces that I've done in the Blushing Bride. I'm going to move these dies out of the way for now. And then you need 3 of these little middle guys. They each get 1. Okay, and they are slightly embossed as well. And 2 of them, the flower parts, also get this sort of V shape. Okay, and then from what I can see, there's kind of no right or wrong for how you put it together. There were a couple of videos that some demonstrators had put out, and everybody seems to have a little different idea and technique for putting it together. So I'm thinking it's just kind of, you know, whatever you decide and however you like things. So the tulip bud, this just closes in. It goes like this from what I can see in this picture. maybe to the side there. And this would just sort of be like that. So I am just going to grab my liquid glue and I'm just going to start putting these together. And I suspect that kind of like tulips in the real world, they'll all be just a little bit different because you'll get, you know, little different angles on the pieces that you put inside. This one I'm going to put over to this edge here. Next time it might be in a slightly different place. So it would look a little bit different, but then tulips in the real world would look a little bit different too, wouldn't they? So we'll just put this together. We'll see what we get. Whoop. I think you need to hold them for just a moment so that the glue sticks, because some of them are going to get just a little bit thick, but that's okay. Now this one I have glued quite flat because I had glue pretty much up the whole way. Some of them you could just glue towards the bottom, or you could even just glue this little itty bitty crossover piece here, and then this flap would, it would be loose. So you would have a little more dimension. So then these other ones, I've folded the edges in. These score lines are in the dies, so you don't have to worry about where those are. They get created for you automatically. And I think I'm going to put the polished pink. Actually, this one was Melon Mambo. I did polished pink over there. I'm going to put the Mary Merlot piece at the back. And so that would come together just kind of like that. And when you kind of like how it looks, you can glue it down. These, again, if you give them, you know, if you give it a little fold, it'll have just a little bit more dimension. Again, this is something that you can just kind of play with and see what you think, see how you like it. I'm just going to put a little bit of, there's no tabs to say, you know, attach this and line these things up. So there's a lot of wiggle room to create them the way you want them. So the peony, which is similar to this, where it's different layers that you create the flower with, that one actually gives you little tabs so you know where to line things up, because it won't end up, I guess, looking much like a peony if you don't get things lined up quite right. But with the tulips, sort of looks like it's a big free for all. So I'm going to fold this in while I'm folding that to make sure it's going to be where I want it. I think that will work. And of course, we're making these in the middle of winter. There is not a tulip to be seen yet. They'll come into the grocery stores in another couple months, but there's none here right now. I actually don't want to glue all the way down here because it doesn't actually touch other cardstock. So I'm just going to give a little dab where it will in fact touch. Just hold that for a moment. So we'll make these now, and then round about March, when you can get tulips in the grocery store, I'll go out and get some tulips and see how close or how far off I am in my tulip building. See whether my garden's going to grow well or not. So this one, what have they done? Oh yeah, they've kind of just got it folding. They actually seem to have this flapping on the sample in the catalog. I'm not entirely certain how they do that. We'll have to see if Stampin' Up! Comes out with a video of what the artist, the concept artist, had in mind when they created these. As a starting point. But, you know, as time goes by, there will be lots of demonstrators that are going to play with them in different ways, and they'll put videos out of how they folded them and creased them and made them poof and all those things. So it will come. I'm just sort of doing whatever happens here. Just kind of playing with this. They showed these very, very briefly at our conference on stage. They didn't actually give a demonstration of it, so we didn't really get a big clue there. So now I think I am just going to put some glue on this edge here. I'm going to put that down. I think I got too much glue too close to the edge there. I'll wipe some of that away. I'm going to hold that, and now you can see that I've got just a little lift going on that edge of the tulip. I probably should have put the glue over here further so that it would lift on this edge as well, but maybe on the next one we'll do that. So there are some tulips. Now I did those just with cardstock. Of course, you can do them with cardstock or designer series paper. I thought it might be nice to do it with some of this paper. This is paper that we looked at the other night with all the sort of scenery and everything. And, so this is called New Horizons, and there are a lot of scenery and horizon kind of pieces, but a lot of the backs are just modeled. So I was thinking that all these different colors would be interesting if I cut all of the tulip pieces with this paper that has the different colors. So bring this in, and you need about 2 1/4 inches for a strip. And then you can put all of your dies down onto the one strip. You can run everything through one fell swoop. So let me just grab my little mini cut and emboss machine. So I am going to put just a tiny bit. I'm going to put the designer series paper down, and then I am just going to line up all of these dies on here. We'll get the big dies on first, and then we can fit the others in. And of course, some of these are going to be purple, some are going to have some pinks. These ones are going to be kind of blue. You actually need 2 of these, and there is only 1 die, so you do have to run that last die through a second time, but we can do that. Let's see if I can get this all to go through. Sorry, a little bit jiggly as I run this through. Okay, whoop, lost some of the dies already. There we go. Okay, so this is what the pieces look when they come right out of the dies. No, I'll sort those out for you in just a moment. I'm just going to run through one more of these V-shaped pieces. It will fit on there. So this piece of designer series paper that I've used was 2 1/4 by 6, and it is the perfect size to cut everything you need to make 3 tulips, or 2 tulips and a tulip bud. So, okay, just give me a little brief here, probably because I'm sitting at a funny angle here. Okay, I'm just going to put that up there a little bit, that down on there. Oh, okay. So that's all we need that for the moment. There is our last piece. So put all of these dies up here so I don't lose them because I'm already missing one again. So the biggest challenge with these dies is going to be not losing them, I think. Oh, it's still on the machine. Gosh, I hope I didn't run that through like that. Looks like it's okay. No harm done. Okay, so here are the pieces that we ran through. There's our 2 V's and our 3 individual petals. And then these are the pieces that you fold. So now the back of the designer series paper is at the back, but that's going to get covered over by these additional pieces. So we don't need to worry about that. That is okay. Give this a fold. Get him ready. And this one as well. So there we go. And then you can just decide. I have some white and blue, some blue, and some purple. So maybe you might want the dark purple poking out of the bud here. Just a little tiny bit. No, this bud, I'm not sure whether it's supposed to be raised, but if I raise it, then you can see the dark purple, which is kind of neat. What do you think? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm just going to pull up this page from the catalog again and see if I can kind of tell what they do. So here's their bud. So they actually have a little bit of the orange cardstock above their inside piece. So their inside piece is quite low. So they have this down right to, you like it with the dark purple. I kind of think I'm going to too, but I'm just going to put this down here, sort of the way it was in the picture. Yes, you almost don't see it very much, do you? You don't really realize that it's there. And I'm just looking at this. According to the picture, I built the other one upside down. It actually goes like this. Okay, so this one will build right way up. It is like a puzzle, Terry. Oh, good grief. Who knew? There. Okay. Okay. See, if you play with it long enough and you sort of look at what's going on. Now, I'm wondering, though, if we should have one that shows a little darker at the bottom. These are all pretty light, though, so I'm thinking maybe just the darker purple up top. But, oh, or there. Look at the blue. Can you... It's probably really hard to see. It's hard for me to hold so you can see. So there's blue coming out the bottom and just a little tiny bit of blue out the top. This is actually quite pretty in real life. Let me put the dark one back in. You know what? You could waste a lot of time going, oh, do I like that? Do I like that? Do I like that? Do I like that? I do like that little dark purple center. I just wish there was a little more color down the bottom here. Okay. That dark purple might show really nicely on one of the others. So I'm going to put the blue one in here just because we need to make a decision and we need to get on with it. But I will build this one right way up. Oh, now there's actually purple on the other side of this paper. And this is very blue. So many choices. This is going to be light on the bottom again, though, I think. Yes. Okay. I'm just going to go back to the original thought put a little dab of glue down here. We're going to put them together. I think it's very interesting, though, that I built the first one upside down. So now I wish it was a little bit higher there, because now it looks a little low here. But it might look okay when we put a stem on it. So we will see. And this just has a really tiny little crossover tab. I don't know whether that's where they held that together or not, but we'll try. So we're just going to put a really tiny dab of glue here. I guess actually I could put it down the whole thing, because it could kind of sit on the inside layer too, couldn't it? Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we have purple on the outside and little bits of blue showing through on that one. Okay, on to the next one. Now we have so we have some blue and purple, and so now I suppose the question could be which way's up? Oh, but that's nice. That's dark blue and then the lighter. Let's see how that's gonna work inside the purple. Let me see which one this is. So this, they have this sort of tilted this way a little bit. It almost looks like. Okay. I guess that could kind of work. They have it low. Oh, maybe, yes, that sort of does look more tulip-like. Are you having fun laughing at me while I try and figure out which way's up and what to do next? This is really kind of interesting. And I think, you know what, I think you really could do these almost any way, and I'm not sure you would notice. Like, I don't think they would ever really look wrong. Oh, dark purple. We're going to put that up. So now we're not using the blue that we die cut, because we're moving over to have this dark purple show. So I am going to put this in about there. And then I am going to put the next layer over top. That's the beauty of this paper. Holy mackerel, you get a lot of color choices, because you've kind of got fronts and backs. And even though there is a little bit of subtle embossing on these, if you did it backwards, you'd see the color more than the embossed piece, I think. So it wouldn't really matter that you flipped it over, because it's hard to look at your designer series paper and know exactly what's going to cut where, and therefore which side you want to cut your dies on. But okay, well, there's a tulip. Yeah, they're tulip-like. Okay, and then the third one, we are going to put this about there, I think, and then we're going to put this about there and fold this over, maybe tilt it a little bit more, eh? You can see this blue just a little bit. There. Okay, so I'm going to attach these two pieces to each other. Oh, look, there was purple in this one too. Should I flip it over? Quick, quick, flip it over. Should have looked before I glued, shouldn't I? It's okay. It's all gonna get stuck one thing on top of another, so sticky on the back now though. Okay, now I'm just gonna add a little more glue anyway, so. Here we go. And we want this kind of tilted over this way, I think. Tilt it a bit that way. Yes, and we are going to put some glue on right on this back edge this time so that the top is a little bit loose. Okay, so I'm going to put the glue there, and then when I fold this over, this edge will still be, so I'll just give him a little fold up and out, tiny bit, as I hold this edge. There, so on the back, it's all glued flat, but on the front, it's quite 3D. Look at that. Okay, so as they say on the ski hill, when one of the other instructors does something and learns from their mistake or whatever, they ski back and they go, okay, pro tip, and they share it with all the ski pros. So pro tip, crafter ladies, just play. It gets a little easier, and you kind of get used to how the pieces come together, and you actually learn that which way is up. I don't think I'll be able to get this apart. I think I will destroy it if I do. So I think this one's just going to be a little bit low and off kilter because I actually built him upside down. But these, ooh, I'm liking these. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to some leaves, and let's see if we can actually get a card done here. So in the stamp set, we have a couple of leaves. We have some stems. So I am going to stamp some of these. I think I'm going to, you know what, Donna, they are fun. Once you kind of get the hang, and it's sort of like, okay, what am I doing? How do I do this? This is weird. But yes, they do kind of, they are fun to play with. I think I'm going to really like these. And I think they're really nice with, with your multi-colors of cardstock, but they're fun with the Model Designer Series paper too. I pulled out the New Horizons for tonight, but they would probably work really well with the Celebration, with the Marvelous paper, because that's all modeled. That's actually, it's kind of like, this is from New Horizons, and that's the polished pink. But this is, sort of similar to some of the pieces in the Marvelous paper. So, and even some of this with all of these colors would be lovely. Yes, I think this is going to be a really fun set to play with. So, okay, I need some blocks for some greenery. I'm just going to drop this stem onto there, and let's put a stem onto there, and a bigger, or a leaf, and another leaf onto there. Okay, and then I think I am just going to stamp tone on tone. So I have Pear Pizzazz. You like them, Lorna? Yes, thank you. It's it was just a lucky choice. But it turned out this time, didn't it? Okay, so we're just going to stamp this leaf, or this stem. And these little skinny stems, I don't know about you ladies, but sometimes they're kind of tricky to get the die around. And I have not, what you can do if you cut this stem out of a piece of, I usually use like a thick, very vanilla or thick basic white cardstock. Cut it out, and then it will make a little template for you, and it's easier to see the die cut piece. So the cutout piece on the cardstock, and you put that right over top of this, and then you kind of drop your die in, and it sort of holds it in place. Whether that made any sense at all, I will have to show you that in an upcoming video, because it does make it easier to die cut some things where it can be difficult to see exactly where you want to place the die. So I did 3 stems because I have 3 tulips. I don't think I need a big and a small leaf for everything. That seems like a lot of leafery, a lot of greenery. So did I completely lose you there, Lorna? I will make a note to show you in a future video what that was all about. All that babble about cutting out a little template, yes. Or I could do it right now. Let me just grab a piece of thick cardstock. Okay, so I have a piece of thick, very vanilla, and I am just going to cut it about, make sure it's long enough. Yes, that's more than long enough. Okay, and then I'm going to run this through the cut and emboss machine. Okay, I move these out of the way so I don't smush them. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to drop that down right kind of in the middle. And I'm going to run it through. Okay, so there was no stamping on here, so I wasn't worried about where it was. It was just coming onto the, cutting out the cardstock. So now, when I am trying to put, when you're trying to put your die over top of something that's very narrow, sometimes it's a little tricky to see that it's lined up with what you have stamped, especially when you've done tone on tone. But because of where the die comes, it's very narrow. But my actual die cut is wider. So it's easier to see that I want it right there. Okay. So I would line that up. I've got this too wide for my mini machine, I'm realizing. But then when you drop your die down, it fits into the ridge. Okay, so it just kind of, it's easy to place it into the groove, and it just kind of sits there. And so it's much easier to get it centered around your cardstock the way you want it. Okay, so I have this whole thing is all too big for the mini machine, since I had just grabbed one. Did that help, Lorna? Do you kind of get the idea? It might actually work this way. So I'm going to put this right over top. Are we in the screen here? So now I am just putting this over top of my ink, okay, because it's very easy to see my stem because I've got the whole thing cut out. And then I'm going to drop the die down into the groove. Then I will here, and then I can run it through. And hopefully it's not perfect because sometimes things wiggle and move. We all know that, but it's a lot more reliable for getting it lined up. So now, whoops, I actually cut a little bit off of my template. Whoopsie, oh well. So now the ink is almost perfectly on the stem there, okay? Because sometimes on these little itty bitty things, I just sort of give up and go, yeah, we don't need that stamped. We're just doing a green stem, and it doesn't need any definition at all. It's just going to be a green stem. But it can be nice if the stamping works. So we'll see. Okay. Just more layers to put. Oh, look. We are 2 for 2. That one's, yeah, it's okay. It's pretty good. I think it's better than I would have done this way. This way it can be, I don't know, we'll see. I'll try one this way. Since I've got two that are good, I can maybe hide one if it doesn't turn out so well. But it is a good way to line things up regardless. So. Okay, so there are my three stems. Stem overboard. Okay, and maybe we'll just wonder if I can get, I don't think I can get all of those in one. Let's cut my cardstock a little bit smaller. I can get one of each size cut. And you could do the same thing with this, but because this is bigger, it's a little bit easier to get your die lined up. Assuming your hands don't wiggle too much. There you go. Let's see, now if I had been highly organized, I would have had all of this stuff pre-cut so that I could, you know, do the magic of early preparation. But it didn't happen, ladies, so I'm doing it now. There we have a couple of leaves. I'm not sure how many we're going to need, but maybe we will just take the time to cut out the last two. And then we'll see, if we can kind of sort of put some of this stuff together and make some real tulips here. Don't. Oops. Have him tilted a little bit. I think it will be okay. Whoopsie. See, sometimes you wiggle. They used to have magnetic plates and they were trying to develop some new ones. I haven't heard anything for a long, long time. You can also put some washi tape on if you're having trouble getting things to stay in place. You just put a little washi tape right across there. That'll hold it as well. I'm just perhaps a little lazy to do some of those things. It's like, oh yeah, it'll be close enough. And it's not bad. It's all greenery. So it's not perfectly colored because it's not anyway from the stamp. So that's my story. I am sticking with that. Okay, so now I've just realized that I got a white card base because I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I thought, oh, but I need a background. So I grabbed polished pink, which is one of the colors in that other piece of paper that we didn't use. So I don't know. Do we want polished pink for our background here? Does that work? This goes this way, right? Yes. That might work. Let's see. Okay, and then we have some stems that we can stick onto these. And these stems, they do have what would be a top there, but you could probably do it this way if you wanted them to curve the other direction. And I suspect it would work okay. So, go. And then I'm not sure what we're going to want for some leaves, but get some leaves going down in here. Kind of sort of, I'm going to need to glue some of this down because apparently it all just moves. And then maybe there is actually, oh, it might be too big though. There's this, you are so thoughtful. Thank you. You are so thoughtful. That's a lovely thank you, but it's just thinking of you today. That was nice too. We could do that. one round, and it might be smaller. Oh, what's this? Let today be the start of something new. Oh, that's a, oh. I'm sure I did read these, but no one deserves a happier birthday than you. But I bought this because I like tulips and I wanted the tulips. And I don't, you know, often I pay a lot of attention to the sentiments in the stamp sets because I love sentiments. But I will confess that I probably didn't spend as much time looking at the sentiments as I have just now. These are lovely. I really like these. So this is the one that says, thank you, you are so thoughtful. So it's fairly large. It will take up a lot of space down there. Might work. But this one that says, just thinking of you today, we could do him in a circle and he would be a little bit smaller. So maybe we will be thinking of someone today since since we're using all 3 of those tulips we made. We cut 3 stems, we made 3 tulips. We are using them all. So we have to have room for our tulips. Okay, so I'm going to drop this down here, and then I have just some white cardstock here. And oh, what color are we going to go with here? Should we go with one of the purples for the sentiment? Maybe we should, because I haven't really used the purples anywhere else. So this is not Gorgeous Grape according to the colors on the package, but it kind of looks like it would go with Gorgeous Grape. And that's one of the things about these papers with all these colors. They usually go with so many more colors than just the ones listed on the paper. Purple would look good. Okay, we're going with purple. So our choices are Blackberry Bliss. That's quite dark. But Blackberry Bliss is what is in the paper. But I'm going to stamp it the first time with Gorgeous Grape. And we will just see if it looks like, if it coordinates or not. Because to me, looking at that, it looks like it's kind of Gorgeous Grape. Although it could almost be Rich Razzleberry, but I think it's more Gorgeous Grape. So we are going to stamp this with Gorgeous Grape and we'll see. Oh, I probably put that too close to the top of the paper to punch with a circle. So I'm just going to move this down a little bit and stamp it again right there. Just do it twice while you're at it because I think I messed up the first one for spacing. Okay, so what do we think? Yeah, I think that will work. I like the purple, and I think the Gorgeous Grape will work. Okay, now you could use the layered circles, but again, I am going to cheat. What have I got here? 1 1/2, 2. Do I have 1 3/4? Somewhere. 3/8. Okay, 1 1/4. I don't know where my 1 3/4 inch circle is, but we'll bring in some of these and see what we get. 1 1/2. How is this for sizing? Well, that's quite large. Is this 1 1/4? Yes. So unfortunately, you cannot buy the circle punches right now. You can get the layering circles dies. So I'm going to try this one first because I don't know this is really going to quite fit in here. And this one actually is down far enough. I'm just going to turn that a little bit. So these circle punches will come back. They will offer them again. Sarah basically said they're gone right now, but they will be back. What do you think? Is that too close? Can we make that work? I think we can make that work. So when they come back, my recommendation is buy every single size that they offer because these are so quick and easy And these are the sorts of things that even when they retire, nobody gets rid of them because they are just easy and quick and handy. There are other ways. Yes, we all hope they bring back the circle punches, Terry. I was listening to I don't remember whether it was a Facebook Live or what, but something that Sarah, who is our CEO, the president and CEO of Stampin' Up, and someone had said to her, you know, you get rid of the circle punches and oh, that's terrible and we need them back and all that sort of stuff. And she, you know, she explained why they did it and they had some good reasons. But she did say that, you know, they will come back at some point in the future. So when they come back, there's my recommendation. Buy every single size that is offered because they are just the handiest thing since sliced bread. Okay, now, what do we put around this? I guess we put Gorgeous Grape around this, eh? Got to grab a piece. One moment. Talk amongst yourselves. I don't have a whole lot of Gorgeous Grape scraps. I don't know if this is big enough. Oh, it is. Perfect. Okay. So there we go. Okay, so I think we are about ready to try and assemble this guy, see what we get, see what it turns out. How many sizes are there? Oh, well, last time, Lorna, they're over, and they brought, you know, they'd introduce a couple each year. So there was a half, 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2. I kind of think there was 1 3/4. I think I have it. But I do have 1 3/8, which was sort of an odd size. There was a 2, a 2 1/2, and I kind of think somebody was talking about a 2 1/4 the other day. I don't have that one. So I don't honestly know that I had them all, but I had an awful lot of them and they are just handy. So it is an investment for sure. And that's why if you buy the layered dies, you can't have it all in one fell swoop. But when they come back, think about, you know, maybe getting a couple key sizes. 2 inches is just a fantastic size for cutting out all sorts of sentiments. And it's big enough that you can kind of make it the focal point on your card. I make a ton of cards to donate to the church that I go to now and the church that I used to. And I use that 2-inch circle for a lot of them because it is quick and easy and you can just pop out nice sizes. You can put a sentiment in it. You can layer it onto other punches. It's just all extremely handy. So I was watching someone doing some of this the other night and I think she was using glue dots to attach these things, but I'm not sure about that. So I think the glue dots are, yes, the glue dots are well, not considerably wider, but they are definitely wider than the stem. So I think what I'm going to do is sort of figure out where I would like these, a little taller, a little shorter kind of thing, maybe about there. But I want the stems to go under the flowers. So I want to glue the stems down first. They're a little tricky to hold. They tend to want to fit in my fingers. I should put them on my silicone mat, shouldn't I? That would be what the wise woman would do. This one off of here. And so now I can see that I just want to sort of tuck that down there. Whoops. On the fingers. Okay, here's my silicone mat. So I think I will bring this in for these guys because then I can just place them on here. Why that one's not laying flat, but this will fix it. So as usual, when you're using the green liquid glue, you want to be kind of stingy because a little goes a long way and it's very sticky. And we don't want it all oozing out of the edges. So really decided what I'm going to do at the bottom. I wonder if we should have been planning to put that right at the bottom. We might yet, and then I'll wish I had my my flowers in the middle of my card, won't I? Okay, so I think I might pop these guys up with dimensionals. So let's just figure out what we're going to do for leafery greenery. Actually, the leaves will kind of tie it all together, I think, won't they? Do this. Maybe one more up sort of through the middle to tie it all together. No, I don't think so. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Maybe we just need two sort of crossing like that. That might almost be better, because a leaf up this middle part seems, it just looks, oh, could maybe do it kind of like that. That might work. The beautiful things about tulip leaves, you can use them right way up or upside down. I noticed that with the timeless tulips set as well. This probably should have been a little straighter. But apparently it's attached now, so what do we think? Does that look like, is that too much leaf? It looks like a lot of leaf, maybe. I don't know. I could have embossed this back piece too. So many things I could have done. But anyway, I think we're good there. I'm gonna put these outside leaves down, and then we can decide on the middle leaf, because I'm not sure about it. But before I do anything else, because this is just ever so slightly plain and it's kind of bothering me, I'm thinking I'm going to take this little stamp. This is just some little X's. It's all one stamp. And I'm going to put it on a block and stamp with it and pray that I don't mess everything up now, because I've got my stems attached. I think I'm going to just take some polished pink and do, oh, you think the flowers stand out with no embossing? So how about tone on tone stamping? I was thinking I would put just some of these little X's in the background. Do you think that'll be too much? Okay, you like the X's. Okay, we'll give it a go. If we don't like it, well, if we don't like it, it's going to be on the card, and I don't know what we'll do. We'll abandon ship and start over or something. I think the tone on tone would be great. Okay, good. That's what we're doing. We're doing tone on tone, and they're quite small, so there'd just be a little bit of accent stuff going on here. It's not, hopefully not too busy. This way. There, just a tiny bit of accent look. Okay, so back to our leaves. That's a big leaf. I'm going to do a small leaf on one side. Small leaf out this side. And the big leaf on the other side. And then we still have a big and a small leaf if we decide we should add some more. So I'll put the flowers on next so that we can kind of get the overall look. See what's going on here. No, one dimensional would probably hold these, but you know, stick two on these big boys for good measure. Just because, right? No, we could do top and bottom here, couldn't we? There we go. Okay. Get through all this. I'm probably not going to want just a plain white card base, but I can grab another one too. Just figured white goes with everything. And sometimes white is just such a nice fresh pop, isn't it? You know, some people don't really like white card bases, but can we tilt this guy? Need to leave room for the other tulip. Oh, it's one of those ones where all the backing didn't come off. Okay, so stick this down here and let's just see. I think that will work. Look. There we go. Okay, so there's the tulips. Probably should have been some little X's in there. I wonder if they will fit. Let me just see. Should be one right across there, which I suppose I could do if I mask it, but I think I'm just going to leave it. Maybe that's where the gems go. So we can put this guy here. Now, do we want one more leaf? What's the verdict on a third leaf? You think? Third leaf? I'm kind of thinking maybe. And that then kind of distracts from the fact that it's plain pink in there too, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it. I'm putting it on. Yes. Okay. Terry agrees. We have one vote anyway. It's all good. There we go. And then we probably need some dimensionals for this, don't we? Of course we do. We like lots of pop. Oh. So mystery stamping is on Thursday. Hopefully you saw the first clue in my Sunday email. We'll get to do some more crafting together on Thursday. There we go. That can go right there. It's coming together, ladies. Look at this. It's almost a card. We'll get a white, one of these white card bases. And we'll start with white because that's what I have right here. Give this a fold. Oops, mess that up. Okay, so what do we think? I think it can go on white, can't it? It could go on purple too. It would look okay on purple, I'm sure. But you know what? We're going with white. Bring this over here. Okay. Yeah, it's nice contrast, isn't it? It's the white card bases, often they're nice and clean and crisp and they make things pop. And the polished pink is it's a bright color and we've got lots of color going on. So sometimes white just sort of smooths the palette as well. Okay, now you know what's missing, right? And I'm wondering if there should have been something there, but there is not. We have no, could have, you know what? Look, I could cut a little bit of this. I should stamp it. Okay, really quick, because I'm late. I'm late. I'm very, very late. The rabbit and I, yes. Where's Alice when you need her? Okay. Clean that guy off and stick him on there. Stick this on here. Grab my hair pizzazz again. Because you see this way too, I use some of these little scrap pieces of cardstock that would not have been useful for anything otherwise. Okay, get rid of this. I have to bring my cut and emboss back in one more time. This is how creating goes, isn't it? You start out with one thing, and sometimes you think you're going to do one thing, and then you go completely another way. So I have not completely veered off of what I had planned to do, partly because I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do. But I did know I wanted to make some of these tulips and play with these tonight to show you the dies and kind of how to use them so that you would have an idea. But after that, I didn't really know what was going to come next. So when you don't have a plan, you can't mess up the plan. You can't go off plan because there wasn't a plan to begin with. So it's all good. There we go. Get this guy coming through. I think this might just give it the last little grounding that it needs out. You know, I always struggle with flowers that are kind of floating on my card. So let's just see if we put these here. A little bit of, well, I don't know now. Might be just a little odd. Let's see. I could pick it up. A little extra greenery. I don't know. I'm not sure about this stuff. It doesn't show up a whole lot. It does sort of cover over some of the lumps though. So, you know what? I'm sticking it on. Terry, yeah. So, you know, a stamp set that you were thinking, well, I don't really need that. That doesn't scream at me to get it. And then you see someone use it and then, yeah, then you want it. That's how it always goes, isn't it? That's why we start out with small lists and, you know, before long, it's a big list. So this is, things are really piling up down here. But that's okay. It's all part of texture. But I think I am going to put this one on with a glue dot. And that's just going to stick it down really well because these guys are super sticky. So sticky, I can't get it off the paper. But it's also going to allow it to go over all of these different levels and just stick down with a little bit of poof. I think I like that on there. I think it just kind of sort of grounds it a little bit. I wonder if it should have been twisted more like this. Oh, so hard to say. I haven't played with this one, but it wants to be up there, doesn't it? Because that's the way I stuck it down. So I'll pull it right off and re-stick it. There we go. Okay, and then maybe just a little bling. Can I do a little bling? I think I need a little bling, ladies. Just because not really card without a little bling, right? We'll grab a couple things here and see. So I was sort of thinking clear rhinestones, just because then there's some kind of that clean sort of look, like the white card base. Some clear rhinestones, just sort of a bright clear pop. But there's also the iridescent rhinestones that have some pinky stuff in them. You don't see them as much. I think I'm going to go with the clear. Oh, Lorna, I love you. Gems are a must. Yes. You are today's favorite person. Anybody that thinks gems are a must when I'm, looking to put gems on a card, it's all good in my books. Okay, so we'll just drop some sparkle and shine onto here. Down that edge. Look at that. It's a whole card. We did it. We did it, ladies. Okay, so it is after 8:30, so I won't get this one made into a card tonight, but that will probably show up in a card one of these days on a blog post or something. Yes, I'll find something to do with him for sure. But there you go. There's the tulips. They're fun. They're a lot of fun to do. And I really like how they turned out. It's a little different, a different sort of look again. They have, Stampin' Up! Has really, there, I'm back. Stampin' Up! Has really, they've brought out some really different things in this catalog. So different dies to play with and different papers with really different looks than what sort of the standards. So anyway, yeah. So I hope you had some fun watching me. Hope you had some fun laughing at me when I was trying to figure out how to put the tulips together and figuring out that they were upside down and all the rest of that. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me this evening, and we will see you all next Monday for That's Fancy. Good night, everyone.